back to UT's Got Talent. I'm your host, Annie Pace. This episode is a little bit different. This is the behind the scenes episode where we really get to know our Final Four contestants. But before we start the interviews, let's find out who our Final Four are. They are Jeffrey Doan, Vincent and David, Glenda Jordan, and Brad Blackwell. And so first up, we're here with Jeffrey Doan. How are you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. How are you?
Now, a lot of people around campus have been referring to you as Criss Angel and things like that. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I actually a little insight there. I was on season 2 of his show. I was a random spectator, and it was a neat experience for me. But I really don't compare myself to him. I kind of like to think there's a couple things. I like to think of myself as a little bit of scare tactics combined with fear factor, Johnny Knoxville, and then maybe a little bit of Criss Angel or Copperfield or Blaine, your choice, but like to do a mixture.
So do you think of the magic that you do more like darker magic or entertaining magic? Like what would you specify it as?
Well, what I like to do is I like to combine sideshow, magic, and reality. You have to decide what's what, and that's what I've said from day one. You know, some of the stuff I've been doing on here is real stuff, some of it's not, and some of it's just all tricks to it, and some of it is more the sideshow style stuff. So I'm a full-time kids performer. I'm a kids entertainer. Do a bunch of schools, high schools. I've done some college stuff. This is the stuff I prefer to do. So I do restaurants during the day, doing the balloon artistry, and then at night I go a little crazy. So
very cool. So you go to like little kids' birthday parties and stuff?
I go to little kids' birthday parties.
Now, do you perform your little like cut the wrist
no.
act during the little kids' parties?
Totally different style of stuff there. I'll make the goldfish appear, but I won't eat it. I do a little bit different style of doing it. We do the cup smash thing, except instead of using a broken bottle, we use an egg. So it's the same style stuff, just a lot different versions of doing it. So.
Gotcha. So do you like kids? Do you like performing with kids?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's how I got my start. I started when I was 13, and I started doing like summer camps and stuff like that for kids. And I'm actually about ready to start being an instructor at a magic camp and stuff like that. And I'm not your average balloon artist either. I'm a large scale balloon artist. I do like the huge decorations, archways, stuff like that. And I'm a magician, balloon artist, escape artist, costume entertainer, fire performer, airbrush tattoo artist, and unicyclist.
Wow. So now you've been doing a lot of like extra stuff with this magic. I know every Thursday you always have to go first on the show because you have an engagement after that. What is that?
Yeah. I'm one of the head makeup artists out at the Haunted Hayride of Horror at Dead Man's Farm in Lenore City. And I do the makeup, and then I'm actually a scare-actor or one of the actors out there, and I also perform some of the scary magic in the lines sometimes too.
So have you ever freaked anybody out really bad?
Doing the magic or scaring them?
Scaring them.
Scaring them. I made someone pee themselves last year, and that was awesome. So you know you're doing your job good when that happens.
Was it a girl or a guy?
It was a girl, but I've also, my other favorite moment is when I scared the guy so much he actually jumped behind the girlfriend. And my second favorite is when I scared the guy so much he ran out, leaving the girlfriend inside. That was pretty fun too.
Now, what's your costume when you wear this, like zombie or like?
I've done everything. I've actually worn the straitjacket as a costume before.
Nice.
I've been a demented doctor. I've been one of the chainsaw people. I've been a victim. I've done a little bit of everything. I've worked in haunted houses for a while now. Used to do the Haunted Cave out in Oak Ridge. I'm at Dead Man's Farm this year, and we'll see what I'm doing next year. I've been offered possibly to run one, so we'll see what happens there.
Wow, that would be very cool. So you said you started out when you were 13 years old. Did you just start out with the little like dollar kits, and like how did you teach yourself to do this?
Well, I started professionally when I was 13. I actually started with the kits, like the Scholastic kits, when I was like around 6. And probably around like 8 or 9, I realized how much they sucked, and that, you know, they weren't good tricks. People were just humoring me, and I was like, well, you know what, let's get a little bit better. Got into doing the balloon animals, and because Knoxville, no offense, but we're not that big of an entertainment destination. So you have to be able to figure out, even though I enjoy doing the extreme magic and pushing my limits and stuff like that, you can't do that 24/7 if you want to make any money at it. So I started doing the kids performing at 13, and I saved up for my first 4 years of college through that. So
very cool. That is very interesting. So now on more of your dangerous acts, I guess I would say, I know the last couple that you've been doing, I've been in the back freaking out that you're gonna kill yourself during the middle of it. What do your parents think about your really dangerous acts?
They were not happy with the bag over the head one. I did not tell them about that one until we actually did it. I think my favorite part though was watching it afterwards, and I don't know if it was one of the producers or someone, but you heard someone in the background be like, "Oh my gosh, do we need to call an ambulance?" And I thought that was hilarious because, you know, what I do is performing. There's a lot of acting and theatrical stuff involved, and then there's a lot of reality, like I said, involved. And that was probably one of the realest things I've done on this show. It was very pushing my limits, and I think that's what made it so entertaining.
Now, what really impresses me with your acts is that you're very creative about it. It's not just like any other magician that makes someone disappear or pulls a rabbit out of their hat or stuff like that. Where do you come up with your ideas to swallow and chew up a goldfish and like that kind of thing?
I guess life experiences. I mean,
You swallow and chew up goldfish in life?
Well, I'm from Tampa, Florida originally. I grew up on Clearwater Beach, which Pier 60's down there. So I grew up with really good performers, and I have the street performer side of me where I like to be, you know, up close and personal with people. And when you're doing TV magic, a lot of people think there's a lot of camera cuts and angles and stuff like that. And when you're watching shows like Chris Angel and David Blaine, there are. But my goal has always been to do the TV quality magic and TV style magic, but with no cuts, doing everything live in person. And so that's kind of, I grew up always wanting to do that, and now that's what I'm doing.
So I've also heard that in some of your math classes, and I've heard this from UT students, that you'll do like a trick before your class starts. What do your professors think about that?
A lot of my professors really did not know I was a magician until they started hearing about people talking about UT's Got Talent. And it's been kind of interesting because, like, whenever I get bored, it's something that I do to amuse myself, kind of. And then, you know, I'll have kids come up to me and they'll be like, "Yeah, hey, do this, do that." I'll be like, "Okay, let's do it." And so we do it, and just, you know, it's a little extra time to waste some time, and it's fun. And I definitely think it pays off in some classes, like psychology. There's a lot of psychology involved in magic, you know, reading people, predictions, stuff like that. And so that's what I'm going for. So I think it definitely helps me in that aspect. So
now, psychology is your major, right?
Yes.
How has that kind of helped you since freshman year? What year are you?
I'm a freshman.
Okay, so yeah. Well, thus far, how has that helped you?
I already knew a lot going into it about like hypnosis and stuff like that. I'm an entertainer, so I have entertaining insurance. And so I already knew that according to my insurance, I can't perform hypnosis. And so going into the intricate details of what goes involved in that and stuff like that, and ESP, extrasensory perception, and stuff like that, stuff that, you know, as a magician, you know there's tricks to do, but then knowing that some people can actually perform it without a trick, it gets really interesting. And hearing about the people who can do things like that, like Uri Geller and stuff like that, who some people say disproven, some people say they're not. It gets really interesting. It gets you thinking, and then as a performer, it makes me want to do something similar, like an homage to that. So.
Very cool. So where do you want to take magic to? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years or?
I don't know. I'm going into criminal profiling. So big fan of the show Criminal Minds, and a huge fan of the show The Mentalist. The Mentalist, he definitely uses kind of the same style of stuff that I do, just in his job as a profiler. And I think that would be fun to do. I'd love to have my own show in Vegas. I'd love to have my own show pretty much anywhere. But, you know, the reality is there's a lot of magicians out there, and there's a lot of good magicians out there. Bad thing about Knoxville, there's a lot of stuck-up magicians, and they think that they're the best in the world. And I've met a lot of people who are better than me. I've met some people who aren't, but I like to, you know, spread the magic and help anyone I can, and hopefully, you know, people will help me out too. And so we'll see where it all goes.
Now, you've also told me that you are applying for an internship with Walt Disney World, right?
Yes.
How's that going? What kind of character do you want to do?
I want to do the Indiana Jones stunt show. Like I said, I'm from Florida originally, grew up watching that, and I thought it was just the coolest thing. The explosions, the whip cracking, the stunts, it was phenomenal. And I think that's totally who I am. I'm all about, you know, pushing it, having fun, keeping people entertained, and I think that's something I would love to do. Maybe I can include this in my video application I have to send in. So hopefully. But yeah, definitely, I think it would be an incredible experience.
Would you be doing some magic on the side at Disney World?
I would love to do that. It is Orlando, so there would definitely be some good places on the Strip down there to perform, like Margaritaville and stuff like that are always synonymous with having performers come in and doing stuff. So.
Very cool. Now, I've been wondering this since the very first time you came on here, was that you've got a good, 4 years till you graduate.
Yeah.
You would probably be the most capable of doing an amazing senior prank by your senior year. Have you ever thought about something like that?
I did. I've thought about it on several occasions. My high school senior prank I wanted to do, we never pulled off.
What was that?
I had a cross-country coach. I'm local, so I'm not going to say her name. But anyway, I had a cross-country coach, and I thought she was just always about having your stopwatch when you came to practice. And I loved how we had those removable ceiling tiles and stuff. I thought it'd be hilarious for all the team, set their watches to a certain time and hide them around the room, because we had around 100 people. Hide them up in the ceiling tiles, in her plants in the room, everything. So every day at 3:30, all the watches would go off. And I thought that would be absolutely hilarious. We never got around to it. I don't know if she got word of it or wind of it, but I just, last minute, I decided we shouldn't. She wasn't the nicest of all people, so.
Gotcha.
So I really didn't want to push it too far with her. I actually got kicked off the team for performing.
Really?
I was not allowed to stay on the team because I was missing 2 practices a week for going out to perform. I was making up those practices before school running, while the band members were allowed to miss and the ROTC members were allowed to miss as many practices as they needed. But because I ran a company, it wasn't the same.
Gotcha.
So I had a little bit of hate going on there, and who knows, maybe I'll drop back in and hide some watches around. So she has it coming.
Nice. Okay, well, the final question I have for you is, what will winning UT's Got Talent mean to you?
It'll mean a lot to me, because I guess going through high school and everything like that, all my friends, they saw me as a kids performer. They thought that was my only genre I could do. They thought that's all I was capable of. I want to show people that, I can do all levels. I could do all the way from, your little kids to your adults to your extreme college stuff. And I think it would definitely be good for me, because I'm wanting to go actually on a college tour. Met with Justin Credible when he came through town, and him and I came pretty close. And he's invited me out to LA to do some stuff out there, casting-wise possibly. And I would love to go across the U.S. doing colleges. And I think UT's Got Talent, it's a small step, but it's still a good step on the way there. And I think it would help me out. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jeffrey, and good luck in the finale.
Yeah.
And good luck on that bullet catch.
We are doing the bullet catch. Like I said, no real gun, because it's campus, not allowed. But we are doing the bullet catch, so come check it out. It'll be awesome.
All right. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Hey, thank you.
All right. So we're here with David and Vincent now. How are you guys doing?
Feeling good.
Hey, we're doing fine.
Doing fine. Good to know. So now, at the beginning of the show, you guys both performed separately for the auditions. And then whenever the judges, that was purely the judges' decision for that round, whenever they decided, they couldn't decide between the two of you, so they actually had a 10 and 11th spot. And for the episode that round, they wanted you guys to do like a face-off for that 10th spot. Mm-hmm. But then I got an email from you guys saying that, you didn't want to bully each other and you wanted to join together. So now, explain to me why you decided to do this instead of, getting the glory just solo-y.
Do you want to start?
Okay, well, yeah, I'll say something. Well, first of all, we have 2 different styles, and I felt like you couldn't really compare us to, and that partly being why it was hard to pick whether one of us was better or not. So, by combining forces, I think it was a good idea that, when we combined, it's just that much better of a performance, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like he said, it's just actually like during the show or that first edition, like we met up and we actually talked and we were like, dude, I wish we met you before, because that way we could have teamed up. Because whenever you add another person to a performance, it just brings that up a level, because you're able to do so much more. Because like the flips and the tricks that you guys see us do, we wouldn't be able to do that without another person.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So what kind of tricks are you planning for the finale round?
We're We're definitely, well, we're going to
There's going to be more flips and more tricks, and definitely there's going to be this one point where we're going to, let's just say we're going to...
We don't have to reveal it if you don't want to.
I don't really want to review it, but it's going to be tight. We're definitely going to be dancing with each other, so look forward to that, and I promise it's going to be hot.
Nice. Okay, so I don't know much about breakdancing, but I do know you have to have an obscene amount of upper body strength.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how much do you work out every day?
Well, I'm a gymnast.
Okay.
That's what I've been doing basically my whole life since I was 5. So I've always been able to, I always have had a lot of upper body strength. And so bringing that to the dance world definitely is a plus.
Well, I used to work out like 3 or 4 times a week, or freshman year I actually worked out like every day. But like, that's another myth, is you don't really have to be that strong to break dance. It's because it's all in balance and technique. So yes, I'm strong, but it also has to do a lot with technique and balance.
Gotcha. So I could do it then.
Yeah, if you get your technique down, you can do it.
We'll
Absolutely.
see about that.
Yeah.
So now, where did you, get your inspiration for wanting to start to practice this and to get good at breakdancing? Did you watch like a Step Up movie or something like that? Like, where did you get your inspiration for this?
For me, actually, I started in high school. Like, I watched videos online of like I started out sea walking. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but
Yeah.
I started watching on YouTube videos of sea walking, and then like during high school, I would just sea walk everywhere, and I got known in school for being the kid that sea walked, cause like they had a TV show like here, and I was just always on the PA, or like they had a live PA system, so I was always on there, and it was just started out like that, and then I got into b-boying because it was something new, because I already mastered sea walking, and like when I got to college, I met up with a bunch of people who breakdance, and since I was into dancing, because with sea walking, I actually joined them, and like they showed me all these cool moves, and like got me really into the scene, and like I just loved it from then on.
There you go.
Cool. Now, as before, I'm a gymnast, but I've always loved to dance. Always, at wedding receptions, I was always the guy out there on the dance floor, breaking it down. So 3 years ago, I went to a gymnastics camp, and other than doing gymnastics there was a dance portion of the camp. And, loving to dance, I had so much interest in it. I almost did more dancing than gymnastics. And one of my teachers, Robert Taylor Jr., he is just an amazing dancer. He was on the 2nd season of American Idol as well. He inspired me. He totally inspired me, and he taught me everything that I know and do today through dance. And just from watching him and his performances totally inspired me. And I pretty much dance for him.
Very cool. So now, you had talked before that you had a crew that taught you how to do it. Mm-hmm. Do both of you have like a kind of dance crew here at UT, or do you compete or anything like that?
Well, actually, at the event, the Asian American Awareness Night event, we brought out, I believe, 14 b-boys, and all of them were local b-boys. And it was basically like my crew, or like our crew in Knoxville. It's just basically everyone who breakdance in Knoxville comes together and like practice together. So it's really cool.
Okay, so you're part of the Asian what is that?
Well, it's not what we call ourselves.
Oh, okay.
That was just for the event. I don't think there's a name or anything. It's just all the local b-boys come together and we just practice.
Very cool.
It's not like a legit crew or anything.
What about you?
Okay. Now, since I'm a gymnast, it's kind of like one of my other hobbies. So I'm solo, I just break it down whenever I want to. And, if I go to a party or to a club, I'll tear it up.
So where has been the most random place you guys have just like broken out into dance?
Walmart.
Were you really excited about a deal or something?
All the time. And, sometimes you'll hear a song over the intercom playing at, the local grocery store or something like that. I will break it down in the frozen foods, right by the produce,
No, I do that too, because like I would have my iPods on and I would just be dancing while I'm grabbing stuff out of the aisle. Yeah. But the most random place, I would have to say like Hodges Library. I actually done windmills there because I was just bored late at night, and like I was studying, and I want to get some blood pumping, so I just started breakdancing and like doing windmills, and all my friends were like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? This is the library."
That's like a study break for everybody.
Yeah.
Not very many people can do that. Now, windmill, that's where you get up. I don't know.
It's that when basically when I'm spinning on the ground with my legs.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
gotcha. So what did the librarians say about that? Did they see you doing that?
Nothing.
Security guards, anything like
It was
that.
pretty late, so I don't think there was much people around. It was like around 3 a.m.
Gotcha. Okay, have you guys seen America's Best Dance Crew, that show?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
of
absolutely.
course.
Yeah.
Okay, I figured you guys would.
Okay.
Do you know the Jabberwockies on that? The first winners that wore the mask and all this stuff?
Oh yeah, they break it down.
Yes, a
Yeah.
lot of y'all's like technical moves and like things like that definitely reminds me of the Jabberwockies, except you have like the level up of breakdancing.
Yeah.
Would you ever like consider yourselves like or compare yourselves to them or?
Jabberwocky?
Absolutely. I mean, you can always compare yourself to, or we can always compare ourselves to them, but you know, everybody has their own style, and I think we vary in small forms from them.
Yeah, definitely. Like with Jabberwocky, they do a lot of popping and breakdancing, and like he definitely has the popping down. Like he's got that down, and I got the breakdancing down,
absolutely.
and so that's what we bring to. We kind of bring different styles because they're all in one, and they're just amazing, and I love them.
Yeah, and they also do a lot of like acting with their performances.
Yes.
Like they'll pretend to be a car and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Have you ever
yeah,
thought of
yeah.
doing something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
yeah.
That's really theatrical, and I don't know. I've never tried anything like that.
Yeah, and I mean, you can also accomplish that with, you know, more people in your crew. You know, if we had a 5-guy crew, oh yeah, all different kind of different forms and techniques we could bring forth. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should totally get a crew together at UT. I think it'd be pretty awesome.
Hey.
But
So,
okay,
yeah.
so speaking of, well, 2-man crew, I guess, not that David and Vincent aren't awesome names, but have you ever thought of having like a duo name like Dynamic Duo or Sugar and Spice or something? Maybe not that, but you know.
Actually, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. Would you like? You want a
If
name?
you could think of any
Yeah.
name right now, what would you think of?
I couldn't tell you.
On the
some
spot.
I really couldn't tell you right now.
Okay, to be continued
Yeah, to
then.
be continued.
We'll announce it at the finale.
Okay.
So now, what sets you apart from other dancers, like personality-wise, and you two together? Like, what sets you apart from like not only the other dancers out there, but the other contestants and the other like all the talent out there? What makes you the most talented?
All right. Well, what makes us the most talented? Well, I mean, we bring forth something new. You know, I mean, dance is not just a hobby. You know, it's something you do. It brings out personality. You know, and us doing that that's our talent. But I mean, it's also spectacular. You know, and plus you can take that to many different places.
I think what sets us apart is just the fact that there is 2 people. That everyone else is, I believe, solo or they're performing on themselves, and the fact that we have an extra person to do stuff with, to collaborate with, just sets us to another level.
Shows teamwork of 2 people that would never have met if it hadn't been for UT's Got Talent.
That's right.
That's very cool. Okay, if you could do a breakdance move or a flip off of anywhere in the world, any monument, anywhere in the world, what would you do?
You know, maybe something with the Neyland Stadium. Go up to one of the office boxes and just, man, we're talking quad right off the top. But I mean,
All the way to the
all
field?
the way to the top, man. Yeah,
Nice.
something big. You know,
Yeah.
Go over the goalpost,
hey,
over pretty goal.
fireworks. You know.
Yes, there you go. What about you, David?
Yes, Amir, I would just go on top of the hill, Aris building, go onto the roof, and hit a freeze. And that would be my place to be. Because, I don't know, after the session with going on top of the roofs, like freshman year, we actually snuck into a building that was closed. I don't know, it's the new biology building. It was locked up and closed. And my friend brought me there, and she took me all the way up to the roof, and we just sat there and like chilled for a while. It was awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so my final question for you guys is, what would winning UT's Got Talent mean to you?
That would be just a huge opportunity for me. I mean, this is my first talent show. And, you know, to win this, it'd be a huge accomplishment in my life. I mean, like I said before, I'm a gymnast, and this is a new opportunity for me. And, you know, to win this, it'd be a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, it would definitely be a first for me because I've never won a competition. I've never actually been in a competition. Well, I take that back. I've been in competition, but that was like in 12th grade when I was playing Pokemon cards. Yes, I did win.
Nice. You should bring that talent here too then.
I don't know. I don't have anyone else to battle with.
Well, you go, Vincent, right here.
I don't know. Do you play Pokemon cards?
Hey, I will now.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a first if I win this. Definitely for my b-boying path or career. It's just gonna be something to add onto my life. It's just a great accomplishment.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, and good luck in the competition.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes. All right. So what's up, Brad? Ivan? How you doing?
Doing good.
Okay. So now tell me something. Before you came on the show, you kind of already had a name for yourself in Knoxville. I've heard you on the radio before and things like that. Why did you decide to do UT's Got Talent?
Well, because like you said, it's kind of outside of campus, really, and I saw the flyer on the wall and said, well, you know, why not? It was a good chance to reach the kind of the campus audience, which I really haven't tapped into yet. So a lot of my fan base, you know, I'm usually playing in bars and like kind of outside of the strip or whatnot. So a lot of my fans are older, you know what I mean? So it's like it'd be nice to if I could get the college crowd into it as well.
Now, what year are you?
I'm it's my 4th year, so I'll be like 4.5 years to graduate. So
Okay, super senior then.
yeah,
You're gonna be a super senior.
Yeah, right, super senior. That's exactly right.
Very cool. So, how did you get discovered with the outside Knoxville stuff?
Well, I my manager. I write songs with a guy named Jim Denton, and he's just kind of a bulldog. I mean, he's a songwriter himself. He used to live in Nashville, and he had a #1 hit. So I mean, he knows how to write songs, and he kind of found me through my aunt. They went to church together, and
Nice.
she said my nephew's been playing and writing songs for like about a year. Then is when I'd been playing, probably a little over a year. And he said, well, he was just being nice, really, not expecting much. But anyways, he was interested, and we kept writing, and he knew a lot of. He wrote "Rope the Moon." I don't know if you follow country music, but
I don't think I know that one.
Whatever.
I'll YouTube it later.
It was old school. It's old school, but I mean, he knew a lot of people in Nashville, and we've been going back and forth and meeting a lot of his old buddies and stuff like that. And anyways, we just kind of worked the circuit, outside of Knoxville or around Knoxville, and things have kind of progressed, I guess, in the year that I've lived here.
So when did you kind of realize you had a talent for this? Like, have you been singing since you were little and like that kind of thing, or just all of a sudden just sparked some interest in it?
Well, I got a guitar when I was 16, I guess, for Christmas. Didn't ask for it. No reason to think, and my mom got it for me, so no reason to think that I would want a guitar. She just got it kind of on a whim. It was like a cheap guitar. But anyways, I had it. I thought, since I had it, I might as well attempt to learn how to play it. It'd be fun to play songs.
You were trying to pick up girls, weren't you?
No, not so much. Yeah, I don't think girls really like it unless you're good at it. So, but I thought it'd be funny to play at parties and stuff like that. But anyways, it's really it's almost like I woke up and I could just play. I mean, I taught myself, and then kind of just a byproduct of teaching myself how to play. I've always kind of wrote poems, like for birthday presents if I didn't have money or whatever, kind of a gag gift. I'd write like funny poems. So I always had a kind of a knack for rhyming and stuff. And anyways, I got the guitar and started writing my own songs, and they sucked, and they got less sucky, and then a little less sucky, and then better and better. And then I met Jim, and it was kind of, they took off. So
now, what does your mom think about, she bought you what has potentially become your future career?
She loves that. My parents are awesome. They're great. They just really believe in it, and that's been the most reassuring thing. And the reason, my motivation really is just I've had my return on people that enjoy my music, has been very high. I mean, people really believe in it. So, and I love it. So, and I'm going to keep doing it. And I believe in it,
Exactly. So now your parents are coming to the finale too, right? Is that right?
Oh, they'll be there. Well, my dad's busy, so if he can be there, he tries to be at everything he can be at. Yeah. So mom's usually right there because, it's what mothers do. Dad's working and stuff. But I hope Dad can make it, but they'll be there.
Very cool. So now you write your own songs,
Right.
which is very impressive. Where do you, I mean, do you just sit in class, like when you're bored and start writing lyrics? Like how does that come?
It really is out of nowhere. I mean, out of nowhere. I might see a sign, might see a person, might be in a situation, and not even realize it when I'm in the situation or whatever, and then kind of, I don't know, when I lay down at bed or something, a phrase, or I'll be just fooling around on the guitar, and I might play the same chord progression 100 times, and then on the 101st time, something clicks, and I start rolling, and it kind of, I can't plan it. I can't sit down and say, I'm going to write this song. It doesn't work like that. It just kind of happens. And then I roll with it. You know, I'll be laying in bed about to fall asleep, and something will hit me, and I'll get up and write it down, you know. It's just kind of and there's been times where I haven't been like, oh, I'm going to keep sleeping, and I'll lose it. And I'm like, oh, crap. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's when you need the Red Bull shots.
That's right.
You need to invest in those.
Right.
Wake up some. So now, okay, you have a girlfriend. You're dating someone, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, have you ever written a song for her or anything like that?
Yeah, I have. Well, you know, originally I had already started to write, I'm going to call them my good songs, you know, right when we started dating. So, you know, a lot of them aren't, it might not be specifically about her, or, you know, or it might be like little things that I pull from her, just being happy or whatever. A lot of my songs are upbeat and happy, and if it's not like directly about a person, it's usually about a happy situation, and it might be, she probably inspired it more than I realized, but I have written songs directly for her.
Right.
So
now, what is she like? How long have you been dating, that kind of thing?
A little over 2 years now. She's great.
Wow.
She's great.
That's awesome. You need to bring her to the finale too.
She'll be there. She's in pharmacy school at ETSU.
Very cool.
So she's busy, but she's, you know, really good for this is a big thing. So she's good at making it to everything that she can, you know. So
Very
I hope
cool.
she can come. I think she's planning on it.
Okay, now what is your major?
Advertising.
Advertising.
I just got out of an advertising class. I have class just upstairs.
Really?
At 6:30.
You passing it? You doing good?
I'm doing okay in that one. Yeah,
okay.
I'm doing all right.
Good to know. Now, what do you want to? Do you want to take music more into your career, your like future, or advertising, or like?
Yeah.
Where do you see that, or do you want to combine it? Do you like advertising?
Yeah, well,
jingles,
I really,
things like that?
I want to do it. You know, I mean, I want to. When I decided on the major, I wanted something that. It's nice because with advertising, I'm able to immediately apply a lot of the stuff I learn, like, because a huge part of kind of grassroots and things for me, because that's kind of what I'm doing, kind of the build your own thing up until someone bigger scoops you up, you know what I mean? But advertising is a huge part of that, and I feel like kind of the business marketing side is a lot of the things that musicians don't like to do. And I have somewhat of a knack for it, so I figure whatever knack I don't have for it, I could learn. And it helps me pay attention more in class. So, you know, I enjoy the major, and it's different than I thought it'd be, but I like it. But as far as after graduation goes, I'm doing music until I have a reasonable cause not to do it, until it's just stupid, you know what I mean? Until I don't have a life and I need to get a real job, you know? So,
right.
But.
So now, tell me a little bit about like your group of friends. Do you have like a good support system, a little crew you got going on, or anything like that?
Yeah, well, it's. They could care less, which is well, I mean that's true and that's not true. I mean they think it's cool, I guess. But I have I have the greatest friends in the whole world, you know, and it's a good thing they don't care, because I have, you know, as things have progressed, you know, there's plenty of people telling you, you know, that you're really good or whatever. You hear a lot of other stuff, and they're not telling me that, you know what I mean? So it's a good thing. It's almost good, but I think they're closet fans, I guess.
Gotcha.
I think they are.
They probably have posters of you in their rooms.
They listen to me secretly before they go to bed.
So now, what do you feel about your music? How can it help other people out there, or like specifically UT students for this competition? Like, how can it help other people?
I just believe in my talent, and I believe in the music, and I think it's good music. You know, I think it needs to be heard. I think people don't realize I'm here. You know what I mean? So that's the whole purpose of me being on the show and wanting to sign up, is to be recognized with the campus. You know, as a student here and as someone with a talent here, and just wanted to be known. So it's happy music. It's right there. It's current. It's on the radio. So I just encourage people to check it out and tell their friends, or just go to my website, whatever, Google me. I pop up. You know, there's me and like a real estate agent.
Nice. Very cool. I think I pop up with a yoga instructor.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's pretty legit.
Yeah, I mean, I Google myself all the time. You know what I mean? I just kind of, it's routine in my day.
Nice. Okay, so my last question for you is, what would winning UT's Got Talent mean to you?
It'd mean a lot. It would mean a lot. I mean, I would, really coming into it, I didn't know what to expect, and blown away by how diverse, first off, the talent range was, but even just the dancers and the kind of eclectic with the hula hoop. I mean, she's awesome. I mean, it's like she started, I was like, you know, I saw her outside kind of with the hula hoop, wondering what was going on. She kind of killed it, you know what I mean? And it was cool. It was cool to see that stuff. And then Jeff, he's great. I mean, he was just out there with like 2 coins in his hands outside, just making them disappear and stuff. Yeah. I don't know, whatever. But it was cool to meet everybody, and it's just, it would mean a lot because there's a lot of talented people here, and I'm glad people are getting a chance to see that.
Very cool. All right, well, good luck in the competition.
Thank you.
November 7th. Hope everybody goes out there.
I hope everybody else is there too.
Yep, exactly. All right, so now we're here with Glenda Jordan. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. So your talent is hula hooping,
yes.
And this is a very different talent, something I've never really heard of before until I saw you actually do it. So, I mean, have you always done this? Like, what were you like as a child? Were you always grabbing the hula hoop and practicing?
We did have a few. Now, there's a difference between like the hula hoop toy and modern hoops that are used in hoop dance, and we had like the toy ones in my garage, and I remember always being able to do it, but you know, you just do it around your waist, you don't do anything with it. And then I started actually, like I've been doing it since fall of 2007, so that long.
Okay, so now what's the difference between a hoop and a hula hoop?
Well, I wish I had like
to show
you, but I mean, let's say if you hold the hoop on the ground where it's like vertical against the ground, like a toy hoop can come up to like below your knee, or it's really small, they're flimsy and plastic, whereas a hoop will it's much stronger, much durable plastic. It's a lot heavier. Some of them, beginner hoops weigh about a pound or a pound and a third or whatever. So, and then they have tape on it, gaffer tape, grip tape to help, so you can use them. They're a lot easier to use. So there is a big difference. If you look at them, they're very, very different.
Now, you make your own hoops,
Yes,
right?
I do.
So how did you learn how to do that?
Internet. You can learn how to just internet for everything. There's really easy instructions and tutorials. They're really easy to make. You go to Home Depot, you buy like a roll of irrigation tubing, you take a hairdryer, heat it up, cut it with like really strong scissors or with a knife or whatever, and then you take like a connector for that irrigation tubing, pop the ends together, and then put tape around it and you're done. It's really easy. I can show you how to do it if you want.
I guess. Arts and crafts day. So like, is your major like engineering? Like, how did you learn all this stuff?
No, I didn't learn how to make, I didn't make the one that has lights in it, or my fire hoop, because my fire hoop was made by Trick Concepts in California, and they make fire props. And my LED hoop was made by Sci Hoops, and that was made in California. I don't know how to make those things. That's way past my engineering skills, but I can make the simple ones.
Gotcha. So where did you get your inspiration to start doing hoop dancing? Like,
well,
where did you learn it from?
When I first saw it, it was my family. We ride our bikes across Iowa every year. It's called RAGBRAI, and it's thousands of people do it. Most states have like a registered bike ride, and in each overnight town, there's like food and music and beer gardens and just kind of like celebrations that go on. And there are teams on the bike ride, and one team was Team Roadshow, and this woman was part of Team Roadshow, and she was I saw her doing a performance one evening, and I was just completely entranced, and it was so beautiful and hypnotizing, and it was just gorgeous, and I knew that I wanted to do that when I saw that. And then I was in Philadelphia for FairyCon that October, and a girl, she had a really cheaply made hoop, and I just bought it from her, took it home, and started practicing. So that's how I fell into it.
So now, what did your parents think when you started like getting really into this? Like, what was going through their mind?
I would learn a new trick, and then I would run to show them, except I would get too excited, and it would inevitably fly off of whatever body part I was trying to use the trick with, and I may have broken a few ornaments at Christmas. I have hit the animals once or twice, you know, just kind of, it's a learning process, and you need to do it with lots of space. Don't like make sure the furniture is pushed back. So, but they were interested, you know, especially when I started doing more of the complicated stuff. It's something you don't really see every day, and so they were really interested in what I was doing, and they've been the most supportive parents I could have ever had with this. So.
And they're coming to watch you.
Yes, they're absolutely coming to watch me.
So what have they thought of your, you know, progression with how good you've become from when you just started out?
They're super biased. I mean, because they're like, you're the best hooper ever. And it's just, you know, they're so sweet. And I thought that I was always worried that, like, my dad is so, like, straight, and, you know, he works as a pilot, and, you know, he's a mathematical person, and so just, like, up and down, like, he knows what he's doing. And I just thought that being an art major and then on the side, and actually as a career, can I be a hula hooper? Like, I just thought that they would just be like, no. But they've been so supportive and so excited, and they love to watch me perform. They can't wait to see me do new shows. They're so interested in, like, the art and what I'm doing with it. So they're so involved with my life in that way, and it's really fantastic.
So when did you start performing in front of people?
I guess my first real performance was my high school's talent show, because that was in April, and I had started that October before. So it was my high school's talent show, and I had started kind of like playing around in the courtyard here and there. So, but that was my first real, I guess, like in front of people. And I did some parties, I think, but it wasn't my first official really hired gigs, really hired performances were when I was living in Europe.
In Europe, really? Okay, so what was that like? How'd you get started with that?
I did a study abroad year in Paris, and as soon as I got there, it's such a major metropolis, I knew that there was nightclubs and venues, so I emailed pretty much every venue in Paris, which was like hundreds of places, and I got some responses back that were interested. And I would go and do a demo, which is like just to show them what it's like. And I got hired at Club Queen, which is on the Champs-Élysées, which is one of the biggest clubs in Paris. I got Divan du Monde, which is in Montmartre, and it's this kind of like old theater that's been converted into a nightclub. So those were my official performances. And then I got some fundraisers back when I was in the United States. I did some stuff there. So but it's mostly like contacts through friends. You know, we've got a party, will you come perform, or stuff like that.
So now back to France.
Yes.
You sound like you speak French. Are you fluent in it? Or
I would say I'm fluent. I can't write it very well, and I can read it fairly well. My French was very practical conversational French, in that if I'm over there speaking with a friend, I mean, I can hold a conversation, depending on the subject we're talking about and their accent. I do speak French, but, you know, there's always like barriers. Verb tenses are kind of hard, but yes, I mean, I absolutely got by. And there were times where, you know, I wouldn't speak English all day just because I tried really hard. I didn't just, you know, I worked at it, so. Yes.
Now, what do you think do you think the response was any different, like being in France versus here?
Actually, there's in a way a big difference, because hoop dancing is in America. It's kind of really based here, and there's a huge following in the UK now. But as far as like other countries, it's almost non-existent. Some in Australia and some in Japan, but like in France, they're very familiar with the circus arts, because, you know, Cirque du Soleil is it's a Canadian French company, but they're really familiar with the circus arts. But I mean, they loved it too. It is fun. I mean, it is very fun. So it's hard not, I mean, I don't have many people go, no, I don't like this. Stop it.
Exactly. So now, I know I've heard before, you're a senior, right?
Yeah, no, I'm a junior.
You're a junior, okay.
Yes.
And you used to perform in Presidential Courtyard, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what would you do? Like, would you get any weird looks from freshmen, or like?
Oh, I mean, as not even hoop dancing, I get weird looks from people just because I dye my hair, and I'm a bit different. So I'm really used to that. But most of the time, I find the funniest thing is people don't realize what their facial expressions are when they're watching, because they're just kind of like. So, and I've only had a few bad experiences with people kind of like seeing it or just not liking it, but mostly they're just kind of like drunk, angry people. So, but most people really, really enjoy it, and a lot of people want to try it. So I try to have a few hoops on me, like that are beater hoops that can, be thrown about a bit so that people can try it, because I want to, share the love.
Yeah, very cool. So what's one thing you can, get the campus to understand about hooping? If you can get them to understand one thing.
Well, if I could get across one message about what hooping is, it's just like how life-changing it is, in that, it was so transformative of my life and taking me to meeting so many people and taking me to so many places I didn't ever think I could go. And it's such just a way to stay physically active and fit without feeling like you're exercising. And it's so therapeutic, especially people who've gone through traumatic events. It's such a beautiful way to get comfortable with your body again and comfortable with who you are. It raises self-confidence and generates joy and laughter. And so, I think it's the greatest thing in the world, but I want to share it with other people. I want other people to get into it, because it's so effective as a learning tool to get us back into a childlike mindset and play and have fun and not be so serious all the time.
Now, you said it's helpful with traumatic events. Mm-hmm. Have you personally gone through one, or helped someone? I've
lost very close people in my life before my age. I've had several friends very close to me die. I'm not going to say I had a very wonderful life. It's I was living in a box and eating scraps. No, I had a beautiful, wonderful life. But learning stories from other people who have gone through rape or divorce or just being abused or just horrible events, mostly physically, that now it's a way for them to get comfortable with their body again and comfortable with who they are, and to get out there and to go outside and to be in the sunshine and to just kind of be out in the world again.
So now, how easy is it to learn?
I thought that you would ask that question, and I thought about how to say this. One of the best hoopers in the world, Christabel Zamora, she founded Hoop Girl. She could never hula hoop as a child, and it took her a very long time to learn how to get comfortable with the hoop. I could always hula hoop as a child, and I learned how to hoop very quickly. I think it really depends on your openness to learn. I think if you're really interested in learning and you want to get into it, it can happen pretty quickly. But you need to be open to the experience. But it's so much easier than what people think it is, because we're used to the little toy ones, the hula hoops, and those are I can barely use those. Those are impossible.
Really?
So yeah, a lot easier than what people think, I promise.
So now, where do you see yourself in 10 years with hula hooping? Do you want to take this on with your career, or
yes,
what would be your perfect
I want to
career?
be the best in the world with this. I know that sounds lofty, but I want to take it and run with it. I want to go. I remember when I did this performance in Paris at Club Queen. I had a makeup artist, a hair and makeup artist, and a costume person. So it was crazy. That was just a ridiculous experience. And I remember being in the dressing room, and then I had some bouncers escort me, and there's thousands of people, and the whole crowd starts screaming, and I'm on top of the platform, and I did a fire performance, and everybody stopped dancing, and everybody was yelling, and I felt like a rock star. I felt like I was on top of the world, and I want to go with this as far as I can go. I want to do the music videos and the commercial shoots and the performances in Vegas and New York and Los Angeles and Tokyo, and I want to do it as far as it can take me. Yeah.
Dream big.
Dream big.
Very cool. So now, what kind of advice would you tell someone because obviously your act is so very different and unique. So what advice would you tell someone that maybe has a really unique and different talent, but might be too scared to do it because it is so different?
I've always been a very aggressive, out there person. So I've always kind of been an in-your-face person. I haven't been shy in that way, but I guess with a unique talent, I guess live in that moment, live in the fact that it is unique and that it is going to be something that people haven't seen before and that is going to capture attention. But I guess take that and run with it. Take the fact that it's unique and just grow and develop in that, and find other people that have that talent. That was really a big thing for me, is to meet other hoopers online and to talk to them about their experiences and see what they were doing with their life in that way. And that was a big thing for me. So I guess connect with others who have the same talent in that way.
Yeah. Okay, well, my last question for you is, what would winning UT's Got Talent mean to you?
It would be career changing, because one of the prizes is you get a music video or a video made. Mm-hmm. I can tell you what hoop dancing is from, you know, sunrise till sundown, but unless you see it, it sounds a little silly. You know, I play with a hula hoop, I do tricks with it. So all the professional hoopers have what's called a demo video that you send out to like the clubs and the venues to get them to see what it is. And when they see that, they're like, that's what I want. I want that as my entertainment. That looks awesome. But until they see that, you know, you don't really know what it is. And I know that I only had about 3 clubs email me back when I was, of all the, like, however many places I emailed, because it sounds so silly and weird. So it would be career changing if I had this video and just to show it to everybody, and professionally made, great music and great editing. It would be amazing.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
and
Annie.
good luck in the final. I know you're going to be doing your fire performance, so
yes.
Bring buckets of water just in case.
No, I don't play with fire or perform with fire. You very much follow fire safety codes. It's not a joke. It's not something to mess around with. So
yes.
I'll have a spotter and an extinguisher and a wet towel, and not wear synthetic fabrics. I know the whole thing.
Okay. Well, good luck in your performance.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Annie.
Glenda.